Hello friends, Classic Vinyl Collector is back with another video here, and this is part 2, and this is my new wave synth pop, the 1980s. My first video was doing the letters A and B, and I'm going to continue with B right here. And as we were talking about in the first video, what a great time this was during the 80s, so much great music coming out. And I did the first stack already, so we're going to continue here and get right to it. A band called Bronski B, with the frontline singer of Jimmy Somerville. What a voice he had. If you're familiar with Sylvester and the song You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, I think I remember him even doing a cover of it. That's what his voice is. But this track right here is also this track, Small Town Boy. Very hard-hitting synth pop record here. He's got quite the high voice. This one is definitely one to look up. And they were on Sire Records. So Sire was coming out with a lot of records as well, like ZYX. But as far as with England, this was a huge label. So look up Bronski B. They also had this track right here, Can You Tell Me Why? This one's a little bit more louder, more high energy, as well as this one. I got two of them. This is a remake cover of Donna Summer's I Feel Love, a high-powered, electro, very seductive track back in the disco days, produced by Giorgio Moroder. Well, this one here has got also Mark Allman from Soft Cell. They did that song, Tainted Love. Well, him and Jimmy Somerville are on this record here. This one is loud. You want to talk about high energy and almost kind of darkish synth pop is this one right here. Get this on your playlist. That's what I was talking about too in my first video is if you were there during the 80s or if you weren't, either way, get out a pen and paper and start writing these tracks down. I'm going to be giving you gold here and it's going to make for one heck of a playlist. This one came out here, kind of a compilation. The track that stood out to me on this was a track called Junk. And I think he's just talking about junk food, but the sound of the track has got so much going on as far as synthesizers and synth drums. Look up that one, Bronski Beat, Junk. Taking it up even more of a notch is this one right here. This has got so much going on and it has hit that perfect beat. I think it might be a different singer on this one, I'm not sure. It sounds a little bit different, but this is high energy at its best right here. To tone it down a bit is this one, It Ain't Necessarily So. This is much more mellow and even has, I think, a flute in it. And to maybe just switch gears a little bit on your playlist, if you got this track right here, it's very nice to listen to. Almost reminds me of maybe In the Fog or Rainy Streets somewhere in Europe. Very nice track. A boy band here, they were called Bros or Brothers, but they had a nice track here called When Will I Be Famous? Great club track. I think I first heard this at the Palladium in San Francisco. That, by the way, was a great club to go to. I forgot the street it was on, but nonetheless, it's not there anymore. It's something else. But When Will I Be Famous? Great track to have. Getting darker here. And this is Baby Do You Wanna Bump. This is more of your German techno sounding, kind of a nice swing to it. And it's called Baby Do You Wanna Bump by Philadelphia 5. Nice import record here. Probably at around 1987. Bananarama. I always said that if Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran had a girl band, they would be this right here. They look like them. The same kind of hair, makeup and all that. Kind of like the female version of Duran Duran's look. They had that big song, Cruel Summer, that was featured in the Karate Kid movie. But they had a string of hits as well here. Robert De Niro's Waiting. Really nice song sung by them. And they look really nice too. Really Saying Something. This is where they teamed up with Fun Boy 3, Terry Hall, and a couple of the other guys from The Specials, a ska band. But look up this one too, Really Saying Something. And this one here, Na Na, Hey Hey, Kissing Goodbye. This is a nice remake of the 1960s. I think the one I just showed you is more original. This was the cover of the one from the 60s, but look at them on the cover, especially that hair. So if you like Bananarama, these are the tracks to get, as well as Cruel Summer. Bow Wow Wow, their song I Want Candy. The rhythm of that is a Bo Diddley from the 1950s, also from the movie Grease, which was Born to Hand Jive. It was that rhythm. And then you had Bo Diddley, then these guys did the same kind of rhythm to it with the drums. But in the song she says, I know a boy who's tough and sweet. He's so fine he can't be beat. And the chorus is I Want Candy. Look it up, great MTV song. For some reason they're buried in the beach with their heads sticking out the top and they're just singing I Want Candy. Great time for MTV. This one here, B Movie. If you know the song, you know what I'm talking about. It's a long track. Long introduction with the drums and a girl laughing, continuously laughing, and it really builds up. It's a fast-moving synth pop song, and the singer has got such a great voice. This has to be on a playlist if you're going to make one. Band of Gypsies, Travels in Hyper-Reality. This is more of the later 80s when you get into kind of a swinging synth pop house music record here. And it has, I think, I'm not sure, it's not didgeridoos, but they have some kind of Indian or Middle Eastern kind of horns in it. Look it up though. Band of Gypsies, Travel in Hyper-Reality. I don't remember the mix to look for, but look it up. Anyone here like Roxy music? It has been said that Duran Duran developed their sound from Roxy music, the band Japan, and also David Bowie. You fuse it together and you got Duran Duran. Well, Brian Ferry, there's nobody who has a voice like his. And I would say if the word class had a voice to it, it'd be this guy's right here. This is their slow song, Slave to Love. And I believe it was on the album Avalon, which is one to definitely get by Roxy Music. Avalon. His other album here, it had the nice song on it, Kiss and Tell, great track during his time, maybe about 1987. This is what synth pop dance music is all about, is his song Kiss and Tell. That's the album. Now here's Brian Ferry's album here. I got two of these, Boys and Girls. This is another one. From front to back, the whole thing is excellent, but the outstanding song on this is Don't Stop the Dance, a very sultry, kind of seductive synth pop track, and his voice is just outstanding in it. But get this album, the whole thing. And then here is the single for it, Don't Stop the Dance. Even look up the video. I think a lot of his videos, he's always wearing suits. That means a lot. Blow, Data. If you like the band Vicious Pink, then this is the track to look up. Really good hard-hitting synths in this one here. And I think it might even be instrumental, but it's a good one if you want to switch things up. If you like German techno or more industrial, this is it right here. The Bog, By God 20. And the chorus, if you want to call it that, is where he says, I take you down there, I take you. And there's a lot going on in this, but it's a bit hard-hitting. Not as hard-hitting as this one. This is much more industrial, and this is body to body, a lot of screaming with the distorted voice. And this was on a TDI, Technodrome International. It seemed to be an experiment that they were doing with the ZYX label, straight out of Germany. Belouis Sum. He had a song that was very similar here, sounded like New Order, and I can never remember the title of it. But when you hear Animal Magic, it's going to sound like a New Order track that was out at that time. But look up this one, Belouis Sum, Animal Magic, right out of 1987. Beats International, Dub Be Good to Me. This was a cover of SOS Band in the early 80s, Just Be Good to Me. If you like to tone things down, switch it up, a little bit more laid back. Almost kind of acid jazz sounding. Mad About You. Very cutesy song, fast moving, it's nice to listen to. Great if you like female singers. This was one of her fine hits right here. B-Movie, I mentioned earlier, Nowhere Girl. This is the album it came from. The mix on this one is a little bit different. It's not as long as a 12-inch single, but to have the other mix would be the one that's off this. It's probably a radio edit. Bananarama, Venus. Who didn't love watching these three girls in the video jumping around with all the fire? They look like they're having so much fun, but it's their remix also, or actual cover of the band from the 60s that did the song Venus. And if you like anything like Stacy Q or that high energy synth pop, this is the track to get. Blondie. I don't have the 12-inch. I don't know what happened to it. You want to talk about the first female rapper? It's this girl right here, Debbie Harry. And it starts off with bells in it. It's got a really good chugging rhythm to it. She's singing and then she just starts rapping. It's a couple of years after Rapper's Delight, but it was this girl right here. Boys from Brazil, a cover version of Donna Summer's Hot Stuff. A little bit more into the house music genre, and it's on Vendetta Records, more of a freestyle label, but a good track to have if you like Bronski B and Jimmy Somerville. Get Boys from Brazil, Hot Stuff. Do you like New Order? These guys sound a lot like them. And this is Boxcar. And the chorus is, who do you think you are? Tell me, who do you think you are? Great one to have. I think I heard this one also at the Palladium, along with this one, even better. Freemason, You Broke Your Promise. And that's also by Boxcar. So get those two tracks onto your playlist if you're making one. Remember this guy, Black? He came out with one album and then just sort of disappeared, but he left us two really great songs. The first one was Everything's Coming Up Roses. If you like David Bowie, this guy is very similar, I think, to David Bowie. Everything's Coming Up Roses is a song you get. And then a much more pleasant, nice sounding, slower song. And the song was It's a Wonderful Life. Look those two songs up. Blamage, two guys, did some really fabulous synth pop tracks on Sire Records. This is their album right here. But if you want to get into a little bit more of use of the drum machines, I think it's the 808s back then or the 303s, and some heavy use of synthesizers, get Living on the Ceiling. It's got an Indian sitar in it. You'll know it when you hear it. And that moves us into Don't Tell Me. This one has a really nice rhythm moving back and forth in it. Certainly a great song to get on, there we go again, Sire Records. This one doesn't let up. It just keeps moving and getting more and more built up into some serious synth pop, high energy. That's Love That It Is, and it's these guys right here. That's Blamage. By the way, I think their name is taken after a French dessert. How clever. But this is the one to get. Anything on Sire Records back in the 80s, you're gonna love it. And then we have a remake of ABBA, The Day Before You Came. I love listening to ABBA's, the girls' voices on theirs. He did a nice version on this one too. So if you like to tone things down a little bit slower than some of the other ones, this one is one to look up. And the last one for this video is Big Pig. This one has a pounding beat of about maybe 108 in it. It's got the girl talking in it, the guy talking in it. She starts shouting, I can't break away. And I'm not sure who to even really compare it to, other than you could mix this right into Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. We all know that song. And I'll be showing that in later videos. So I think that's it for A through B. I'll be getting into C, the Culture Club stuff, and CCCP, all that stuff later on. So that's it for this video, part 2. And if you'd like to see more videos, I'll get those out to you if you subscribe. Also hit the like button, it supports the channel, and hit the notifications bell and be notified when I make more videos. There is so much to go through. There's all this, there's house music, there's Italo disco, there's even dark wave, all my goth rock. So just keep watching. I got more videos coming, a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff to show you. And I thank you for watching and look forward to part 3. Bye-bye.